You'll come with the picture, or you gonna stay you gonna keep it as a Billy
Yeah,
Joe?
'cause it's a bit dark here, so you can't really see it too well.
Oh,
I think
okay,
we're
all
on.
right, it's all right.
Hi, this is moment, like no viewers, but it doesn't matter. Let's introduce it at least.
Yeah, everybody, how y'all doing out there in the UK, right? The UK world. This your boy, man,
Yeah,
Monnie Brown TV. We know in the US of A, St. Louis City. Kicking with my guy Chatterbox, man. We about to give y'all some knowledge on some of these topics and what we think about some fights.
yeah, some good ones. It's a bit dark here, so you can't really see it too well. Delayed, isn't it?
Yeah, you says it late.
Okay, hold up. I
Oh,
think
okay,
we're
all
on.
right, it's all right.
Should be sorted
I mean, I
now.
heard, I heard you
Okay,
clearly.
right.
I heard you clearly.
Yeah, I think I had it. It was echoing. All right, let's get started with the first one. I made a video about it earlier. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. You start off, give your sort of initial thoughts on this
Oh
fight.
yeah, I touched on. I had dropped the video as well, but it's like I'm happy the fight came back around. First of all, I'm happy the fight came back around to fruition. I knew the first time it fell through because of Luis Ortiz or whatever the situation was, but now they got that cleaned up, and I'm happy Deontay Wilder blessed the man with another chance. I feel like this the fight that he need to prove to the world that he is the greatest heavyweight in the heavyweight division. I got him as the number one heavyweight. Not the most popular. But I got him as the number one heavyweight because I know his story, I know the background, I know all the things that happened. But and I'm happy Luis Ortiz didn't give up. You know what I mean? I'm happy he when he got his name cleared. I'm happy he fought to to stay because they tried to suspend him for who knows how many years he would have been suspended. We know this would have been his third time, but at the end of the day, he went and got his name cleared. I believe the man when he said he didn't do nothing wrong. If he didn't do nothing wrong, but now that the fight is on, man, I feel like it's a good one. I feel like this is a fight that can take both to higher to bigger heights if they win. Now I mean, first of all, if Luis Ortiz, if he win this fight, he proved to the world that he's the real deal, which I like King Kong, and I feel like he is a hell of a fighter. But to beat Deontay Wilder on his land, on his turf, would make a big statement for him. He got the tools to do it. We know heavyweights, everybody got power at the heavyweight division. It's just how you place your punches and if you can get him out of there early. But could he do it? That's gonna be the thing. To me, I got Deontay Wilder winning this fight. I feel like Wilder can come in and got to keep him at a length. He got the power to put anybody out. Like I say, King Kong, he has better technique and better skills for his punch placement. But I feel like Deontay Wilder with his 1-2 and his length and his power, man, just God given power. He the more athletic fighter. People say look, King Kong can move better, but I feel like Deontay Wilder can move better. Yeah, King Kong can move for us fundamentally, but for us being on your feet and moving and having a more what's the word I'm trying to find? Having the agility. You know what I mean? I feel like Deontay Wilder got more agility, so he can get to sidestep quicker and step back quicker. But overall, I just see Deontay Wilder being too much for him. Maybe in the 8th to the ninth, can get him out of there. But I just feel like the length and the power will play a factor for Deontay Wilder. But Luis Ortiz will win some rounds. I will say that. That's my thoughts. What's yours?
Well, one thing that I find quite interesting is that Luis Ortiz has actually got the same reach as Deontay Wilder.
Okay. You know, the
He
shorter man always have longer reach or just about the same. But yeah,
but Wilder's normally got like a longer reach than everyone he's fight, most people he's fighting, hasn't he?
yeah, that's true too.
He's a very sharp counterpuncher. He's a southpaw, subtle little movements. I
True.
definitely see the start of this fight being quite cagey. Like Gerald Washington kind of made him quite reluctant to throw. And Gerald
That's
Washington,
true.
I don't know if he's got longer reach than Ortiz, but he doesn't have anywhere near the same will to win, in my opinion, as Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is He's not going to be intimidated. He's not going to be there to make up the number. He's literally going in there to beat Wilder up.
You saying Gerald Washington?
So I see that. No, Luis Ortiz, because Gerald Washington did have some. He did have some physical attributes. He didn't have
Gerald
the heart.
You said Gerald Washington don't have the hunger. You saying as Luis Ortiz?
I don't think he's a real fighter. You know what I mean? He's a good athlete and he's big, and he had some attributes that troubled Wilder. But Luis Ortiz is a completely different fighter. He's going to go in there.
True. Gerald Washington
was a
football player. Yeah, Luis Ortiz been doing this all his life, and Gerald Washington, he came over from the football, side of it. But at the end of the day, it's still a fight. I feel like Gerald Washington had some success in there, but I wouldn't put Luis Ortiz on the same. I wouldn't put Gerald Washington on the same level as Luis Ortiz, like you say. It will be a more tougher task for Wilder, but at the end of the day, I still see the same results. But go ahead, Chatter.
I mean, what do you reckon of the age of Ortiz? How much of a factor do you think that's going to be? Old, but I don't think it makes as much difference for heavyweights. I think people have massively exaggerated how bad Ortiz has looked in his last couple of fights. I didn't think he looked bad at all in the fight against Dave Allen.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I don't think it looked bad neither. Like, it just depends on the style of the fighter. Sometimes you can play down to the style of a fighter. And even with the last guy, Hillian, what was his name? So, no. Hillian is who White fought. I'm sorry, I forgot the guy named Luis Ortiz fought the last guy. But
isn't it?
Say it again.
Isn't it like? So I think someone that he was no threat at all. Everybody beats him.
Right, no threat at all. Tall. It was just somebody try to figure him out on the height of Deontay Wilder. But like I say, he stopped both. So it's like you really can't say it's the age. It's like the youth was there, but I don't see. Like you say, the heavyweights, you can't really talk about the age, and like we don't really know how old Luis Ortiz is. Like he's supposed to be 38, but he can be a lot older. He's on Cubans do it. Yeah, he looked like he probably 41, somewhere around there. Yeah. But I don't think it play a part because, like I say, he works his ass off, and you don't see a slouch in Luis Ortiz. You know what I mean? Like if you seen a slouch in him, then I'll say it may play a factor or he's trying to come back. But like he a hard worker. So when somebody work hard and they're on the mission and they're not afraid of anyone, that's a tough opponent, man. That's somebody you got to respect, and that's somebody that you better take serious. Otherwise, you'll be laying on your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Ortiz has definitely got the ability to beat Wilder. The question is, can he last 12 rounds with him?
Yeah, that's Wilder.
Another thing, though, like Wilder has he's shown great stamina, but like he hasn't really taken that much punishment. So if you're like someone like Ortiz, he sort of sets himself up quite nicely. He's not someone who's just 1-2 hook. He's got a good variety of punches. So you think when I've seen him, he'll like break you down to the body and all that kind of stuff.
If Wilder can maintain like
stamina, if he can maintain good stamina with someone like Luis Ortiz, digging into the body and all that.
The thing with Wilder is like Wilder power can carry from the first to the 12th. That's what I've been saying. Like even late, you can see the power. The real power will start, but like I don't think people give Wilder the proper respect that he deserves on his boxing skills. I know people say he get wild, he does this, but he don't does those things until like he hurts someone. You know what I mean? Like when he hurts you, then that's when he like I say, he come from the UK all the way back to America with a punch. But he coming with real power and force. So if that punch lands, just think how much damage it's doing. You know what I mean? So it's like Wilder's a sharp puncher, man. He can hit you with the 1-2, he can hook, and he got snapped. And not only that, now you got to understand, he was fighting with an injury. Now, like people can say what they want in the Stavern fight, but Wilder was looking sharp, he was looking stronger, and he looked even better. So I'm looking forward to this fight, man. I think he got all the injuries corrected. I'm happy Luis Ortiz coming off a win. That way, it make for a hell of a training camp for both. And yeah, man, I feel like Wilder go get him out in the 7 or the 8.
in terms of Wilder's sort of boxing skills, or the flaws that he has, the things for me, first of all, he's got very poor balance. That's like his greatest flaw that I can think of. And also, someone left a comment on my video earlier, which I agree with, said his transition from attack to defence, and that's something as well. Like he'll him like you sort of basic, when you first start like learning footwork in boxing, you learn is not to square, not to get your feet, crossing your feet. You know what I mean? You move your right leg back, then your left leg back.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really do that much. Like quite often, he'll just literally sort of walk back and he's like squared up, and do you know what I mean? He's got away with it because he's tall and he's got
Yeah,
quick
but
on his feet as well.
I'm saying it's like
So
a
he's
fighter.
managed to get away with it so far.
Yeah, but a fighter
But
like
against someone like
Wilder,
Ortiz,
I'm saying I just want to say this: a fighter like Wilder, when you say defense, it's like it's the Roy Jones effect almost. Like they defense is their offense, but at the same time, their athleticism is their defense. That's why he got to continue to move back. Like, yeah, y'all can say the balance ain't there, which I could agree with. He could have better balance, but it's like for him how he leaned over and how he leaned back. I feel like his defense is their athleticism, like an Adrian Broner. They can't stand there with you and really block and be a great defensive fighter. I think their movement is more of their defense, and you can say their offense is their defense because when they come forward, you know what I mean, they keep their opponent on defense. So, yeah, he's not the best defensive fighter. I agree on that one. And I know what you mean by
but I
offense
definitely,
transitioning to defense. So, I just feel like his defense is his athleticism.
but I do think he would be vulnerable against someone like Ortiz, someone who's as clever as he is, sharp, and who's got that range. Because if he's fighting Ortiz and he decides to take the sort of basically walk backwards like he's been doing before, with that kind of defense, his chin up in the air. Someone like Ortiz, who's as quick as he is, as clever as he is, quick with the punches. I mean, he's obviously quick on his feet. So Ortiz is going to be able to catch him from quite far back. So I think that's something that's going to be a real problem for him.
Yeah, but
There's
the
a couple
thing
of
is
people in
this
the
too.
chat.
Ortiz had to go is will he stick like the way Ortiz fights certain fighters, he's not gonna fight Deontay Wilder that way. You gotta understand. He got to
Oh,
have
there's
a
a couple.
full. He got to have a full game plan because Wilder 1-2. Wilder is faster than Ortiz. I'm gonna say that he's faster than Ortiz. Ortiz will throw combinations, but for us to 1-2 getting off first, I believe Wilder is faster. So I believe once Ortiz feel Wilder power, I feel like it's gonna be a whole different game plan, and you gonna see that it's gonna be a whole different ball game with Deontay
Yeah,
Wilder.
that's true, but he's got. You know what I mean with that, and I think like Ortiz, he's going to know like what's kind of whether he's physically able to prevent, whether he's physically able to stop himself getting hit with them all night is obviously we don't know. But I think he's going to be able to anticipate what's coming from Wilder. Basically, like what's the danger punch,
Yeah,
position himself to make it quite difficult. I think the best option for Wilder is really to take it long. I don't think he wants to get involved in a shootout with Ortiz, even though Wilder's like a good puncher himself. I think he's going to potentially leave himself quite wide open if he does that. I think he needs to sort of box on the back foot. And if he does get the openings, because Ortiz can get frustrated.
and
There's a
that's what's
lot.
gonna happen. I was gonna go there,
He's a
but go ahead.
on his feet a while. One thing I'll say for Wilder, he's very, very quick for his size. Because he's tall and he's got that agility, like you said earlier, he can do all the side steps and all that, like he did against Stiverne, didn't he?
Right, right.
And see if he's very disciplined. Ortiz getting quite frustrated, like following him around, and then kind of trying to overstretch a little bit himself and getting hit with some hard punches. I think that's the best option really for Wilder.
Right, but that's
I
what you
see
say.
a
Like
comments in the got
Deontay Wilder know how to use his length. So for
we've got truth,
for Ortiz, he got to find a
truth and
way
facts.
in. Even though you can say they got the same reach, I can't see Ortiz really um standing in distance and range, trying to you know what I mean, go back and forth. But it's like you have to try to find a way in and try to get to the body. the last fight of Ortiz had, I seen how he was kind of jumping off his feet trying to get in and hit the man. You know, I think the man was the same height as Wilder, so it's like when he was, I sent him like he was reaching. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was reaching. He was trying to get to him so fast, like he step forward, and he looked like he had to leap up a little bit. So when I was looking at that, I'm like, if you're coming out trying to reach against Wilder, brother, and trying to work your way in, it's gonna be bad for him. And it's like you say, Luis Ortiz can get frustrated. He showed that in the Malik Scott fight. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's gonna be a chess match, man. And like I say, I give Luis Ortiz all the credit in the world. A hell of a fighter. Great combination punching. You know, but it's gonna come down to the power punching. And like I say, I feel
I'm
like
just I'm just going to go through a few of these comments. I've got they've got boxing 24/7. The tools, has he got the youth? How's it going,
it's
boxing 24/7? That's definitely the main question mark over Ortiz for me. Got truth and facts about, hey, what's up? How's it going, Bo? How you doing, mate? Good to have you here. Ortiz actually has a 1 inch reach over. Oh, he says he's got a reach advantage over Wilder.
yeah, but if it happened to
Ah,
reach advantage, Ortiz not gonna. His style of fighting is, you know what I mean. His style of fight is inside, getting in the inside. You know, so I don't think he can use his reach better than Deontay Wilder. Credit, that's a good thing for us going to the body because Wilder length going backwards could be, you know what I mean, problem. But one thing that
yeah.
don't move is the body. So that means you cutting the ring off, you know, you can get to the body. But even though getting to the body, you got to be accepted to a uppercut or, you know what I mean, a straight punch. So it's going to be a great chess match.
Ortiz, boxing 24/7. Ortiz over the hill. If Wilder KOs Ortiz early 3-4 rounds, huge statement. Yeah, absolutely. If he knocks out Ortiz early, I would be very, very impressed. Is Wilder fundamentally awful? Ortiz fundamentally solid? That could play a part. Yeah, that's true as well.
I don't see him.
Ortiz, JD, Ortiz is going to hunt Wilder's body. I think that's the best thing he should do. That way, slow him down because obviously take his legs away. I think that's the best way. Sporting icons. Icons, good to have you here, mate. Yeah, I was just going through. Remember last time we did it, we didn't even know like the chat was there.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We gotta talk back to the people. That's for sure. That's for
So
sure.
what's your prediction then for the fight? You think Ortiz? You think Wilder's gonna win by knockout? Is that right?
Yeah, I said around 7 or 8. I don't see him knocking him out through 3 or 4. I feel like Ortiz too experienced to get knocked out that early. You know, not saying it can't happen. Not saying it can't happen. And I don't think Wilder want to go out there and try to rush to try to knock out Luis Ortiz. You know, because when you rush to something, you might not get what you want. I feel like he'll go out there, he go work the jab, go hit him with the 1-2. But at the same time, you got to be mindful of Ortiz what's coming back at you. Because like you said earlier, Ortiz is not afraid of Wilder. You know what I mean? He out there, he got just as much confidence. You know what I mean? And he believes he's going to win. Undefeated fighter, don't know how to lose. But at the end of the day, like I say, once Ortiz feel Wilder power, it's go change the game plan. I knows that it's gonna change the game plan, and that's when the fight really go start.
JD saying that Ortiz is going to go to hunt Wilder's body. I think that's a good tactic. Wilder's body, it's
You
quite
gotta
sort of.
understand once you going for the body, it leaves you open for a shot. So do we want to play with fire? That's gonna be the
Yeah,
whole story.
yeah, but I think he has to do that. He can't allow Wilder to just have an easy time and still have
Oh no,
spring in his step in the
yeah,
later. I think
he gonna go
if
to the
Ortiz
body.
gets on top of him,
Yeah, he gonna
Ortiz I
go to the
think is like
body for a shot.
naturally a bigger man, isn't he? He's not as tall, but he's very very thick
Yeah,
set.
yeah, he might be weighing more. Yeah, for us to build. Yeah,
If
he's a bigger man for us to build. Yeah, no doubt.
yeah,
But
so if they're
if I had to ask you who hit harder, you would have to say Wilder. We know all
I say
heavyweights hit hard, but
I'd say Wilder hits harder, yeah, but I'd predict that Ortiz is probably tougher.
you can't really say he's tougher because Wilder's like mentally
No,
strong.
just looking at him, I think he looks physically like he's a.
No,
If you put
you see more flab on Ortiz too, so I don't think he's tougher.
just the
I'm
shape of
giving
him,
that
like
title.
if I was if I was in a in a street fight with Ortiz, just looking at him, I wouldn't think I wouldn't try and knock him out. I'd probably just kick him in the bollocks.
Yeah, but you see, but when you
He
see Ortiz
doesn't.
with his shirt
He
off,
just looks.
when you see him with the shirt off, you
Yeah,
see
but he's just
you don't see a six pack down there. You don't see abs. You see
but
flab.
I
You
don't need
understand?
like a naturally
Yeah. So
tough looking man. He looks to me like not someone who's sort of gone to the gym and he just looks like someone who's naturally a big hard buff. You know what I mean?
yeah, it is
So
strong Cuban, but like I say, man, once he feel that power by Wilder, it's gonna change his whole game
yeah,
plan.
what do you make of the possibility that Wilder's hands are quite damaged because he's had a few operations, hasn't he?
He had the broken arm, he had the
It's like
broken hand, he
rumored.
had the and the shoulder injury. But I don't think nothing is wrong. Not how he was the way he was
Yeah.
snapping them punches on Stavern. Nah, them hands they a okay.
Okay, well, I don't
And
really have a
Wilder a
prediction.
man Wilder is a man of truth. So like if I feel like if he had a hand injury, I don't think he'd be going in this fight. You know, like could he hurt his hand in the fight? It's boxing, you know, but I don't think I don't think like I don't see
Here's
um
the comment here. Okay, sporting icons. Ortiz there to be hit, but if he stays focused, he'll KO Wilder as Wilder will be afraid and on the back foot all night.
that see they can
Now,
say
to
he'll
be
KO
honest,
Wilder. They gotta say how would he KO Wilder. You just can't say he will KO. You gotta give some type of
the
explanation
point,
on how.
but the point about him being afraid and on the back foot, Wilder, like if he's fighting someone like Ortiz, who's hitting back, someone who's got just as long reach as him, someone who's not as quick but has better timing, and when he's like throwing he's having these exchanges his way. And it's not just not having it all his way with someone who's not on his level, not having it all his way with someone who's actually very good, who's got a big presence in the ring. I could see him like getting onto the being very tentative. We'll have to see, won't we? It's
Yeah,
possible
that's what
that
I
he'll
say. We
just
gotta see the
rise to the
fight,
occasion.
but I don't see like people think Wilder finna go backwards this whole fight.
Yeah.
That's not the truth of it. When Wilder go backwards, it's a game plan to it. You know, sometimes the fighter do come out and they can push him back, but at the end of the day, like this fight, man, Wilder know what this fight means, and he know what this fight is, and he know what people looking for out of him, and these the fights he been waiting on. So he know he got to make a statement. He know people ready to like ready to put his head on the chop block if he loses this fight. He knows that. It's like it's no secret, but at the end of the day, he's the younger fighter, the more athletic fighter, the more powerful fighter. And like I say, man, once they get in that ring, and it's gonna be a different story, man. Like I say, Ortiz gonna have some success, man. He a good fighter, but at the end of the day, while the hand will be raised, Ortiz will be on his ass. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm on the fence for now. I haven't made my final prediction. I can see both of them winning. Question for you: what do you think would be? Let's suppose, imagine like Deontay Wilder loses.
Uh huh.
He loses a competitive fight, but we just have to give credit to Ortiz for being better. Where do you
I
think
mean,
Wilder?
there's nothing else you can say. But Ortiz is the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, and you have to give him.
Wilder
I say this though. If Ortiz wants to beat Wilder, I bet you Ortiz get a Joshua fight next. But what was your question?
I'm saying if Wilder does lose, where do you think he'll go from there? How quickly do you think it will take him to sort of build back up to? Because you
I
know
don't
the
see
fans in
Wilder lose.
America,
I don't
the
see him
fans in
losing,
America are
but
quite
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I don't see him losing. But if he was to lose, if it just so happened, I mean, you got to take it as a loss and bounce back. You know what I mean? Like after that, like you say, it depends on how you lose. If it's a competitive fight, like you saying, like very competitive and like that, then he can demand for a rematch. Will he get it? We don't know. You know what I mean? But you got people that's ready, like you say, the critics, they ready to chop his head off, man. Everybody ready to say, we told you he wasn't this, we told you he wasn't that. You know, like what is he now? He's a bum, this, that. You know the stories that's gonna happen. Like we boxing fans, we know what's waiting for him if he lose, but I just don't see it happening. And how fast it take him to get back up, It depends on how mentally strong he is, and he looked like a mentally strong man. So I don't think he'll take a bum after this fight. I think he'll take a another tough fight. Was there maybe a Jarrell Baby Miller if he take the fight? And you just got to see what that. We know the heavyweight division ain't that deep for you to really have to fight to really make a statement. It's fights to be there for him. You know what I mean? To build
I
himself
do
back
think
up.
the problem for Wilder is because if he does lose, then a lot of people, especially if he loses convincingly, everyone's just going to say, "Ah, well, the moment he fought someone good, he lost." And it's going to be quite. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it was someone like, I don't know, Anthony Joshua, if he lost, he's already beaten like Vladimir Klitschko. Like you win some, you lose some. Do you know what I mean? And
Well,
he's kind of quite
well,
early on in his
that's the
career.
only fight. Like when you bring up Anthony Joshua name, that's the only fight people really dangling off of. It's a Klitschko fight to say that he that much more better than Wilder. But like I
But,
say,
no, but
he could Wilder
he
couldn't get the
hasn't.
Klitschko fight.
No, but Wilder like built up. Whether you agree with it or not, he built up a reputation over a long period of time. Good
Let's
competition. Whereas
we can
like
say
Joshua,
this. Like I say,
you can say it's the same.
I'm gonna break that down because you can't really say the level of competition that Joshua was fighting was better than the level of competition that Wilder fought. You can just say the
What after
build
after
ups,
25?
and you can say that like Joshua, man, he got a fucking army behind him. Wilder don't have an army behind him like Joshua got. Why? I mean, Josh, like we talked about this. Joshua got the UK. Like y'all are loyal fans. Y'all behind him. You know what I mean? Y'all don't have that many. If I was to ask you what was the biggest sports events in the UK, what would you say? Like besides the Anthony Joshua fight, what else is the biggest sport event in the UK?
Look, football. Football's the biggest
Football,
sport, like by
soccer, right?
far.
Right.
Yeah.
After football, what's next?
It kind of goes in cycles. You've got like a few big ones, like boxing's one of them, cricket's one of them, rugby's one of them.
But like those events don't get airplay like that. Soccer get a lot of airplay, but when you go to cricket and rugby, like you don't get airplay like that. Over in America, you got so many damn events that can. Boxing ain't the number one thing. You know what I mean? So over there, Anthony Joshua is a big fucking deal to y'all. You know what I mean? Not saying he's not a big deal to us over here. It's just like the UK. So y'all stand behind him. He's big. Anthony Joshua can lose, bro, and he still gonna have his army. You know, he still gonna have his army. Over here, if
Yeah.
Deontay is like you said, Deontay Wilder lose, they ready to chop his head off. You know, so he don't have room for error. You know, so that's why he's chasing these fights. But at the end of the day, I don't see him
Yeah.
losing to Ortiz. It's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. But as
All right.
far as him,
Talking
what will he
of
do after he lose? We just have to wait and see.
Anthony Joshua, what do you want to say about the Wilder Ortiz, or should we move on to Joshua Parker?
No, I think we touched on everything on Wilder Ortiz. It's gonna be one hell of a fight, man. March 3rd. I got Wilder knocking him out, and we'll see could he get the win of Joshua Parker next.
I've got it a real 50-50. Both of them, I think they're both relative to a certain extent untested, at least against someone at this level. And they're a question mark. So for me, yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. I'll make a prediction near the time, but for now, I'm sitting on the fence.
Oh, you gotta give a prediction, man. Come on, you know you're going for Ortiz over there
Right
now,
now,
Chatter. You know you're going for
right
Ortiz, Chatter.
now.
Just go and tell him you got Ortiz winning, Chatter. Just go and tell him.
I mean, I mean, yeah, I have, but I can also see Wilder win as well. I don't really know, to be honest. It's like a 50-50.
All
If
right,
I
all right.
had to pick one, if you had to put a gun to my head now and said choose one, then I'd go for Ortiz.
You'll be a
But
dead man.
I'm certain, don't say that with any conviction.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I understand
I
what
wouldn't
you're
be putting
saying.
any money on it. I see it as a genuine 50-50. All right, Parker Joshua. Apparently, I think it's made official now.
Yep, 31st. You can go first on this one.
Lisa Quinn, sorry, just quick, Lisa, how's it going, Lisa Quinn? We support a big range of sports over here, not just select a few. Yeah, that's true. I think there's a lot because obviously football's the biggest, boxing, cricket, rugby, but there's a lot of other ones people like as well. It is we've got a lot of stuff going on over here as well. I think the main difference is because America's so big that I mean, obviously, in the case of Wilder, I think the main problem for him has been not just promote the whole package. We can go into that, but promotion mainly, in my opinion. like you've got to do quite a lot to get everybody noticing. Like you've got like different time zones over there. You've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
so many different networks. Whereas like in
America just a
England,
tough country, man. There's a lot of things going on over here that
you can quite
it's a lot
divided
that
as
play a
well.
part, man. There's a lot of play a part. Racism,
It's a very
TV
divided place.
time. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that goes on with it. But once you make it to the top,
But
that means either they gotta hate you and want to see you lose bad, or you know what I mean. It's a lot, but it is what it is, man.
we've got it's easier, I think, here because you get like more attention. It's like you know what I mean. So to get the attention of the whole country, I mean,
Exactly,
because
and
there's like 60 million people.
especially when like over there, like if y'all was to go against another country, y'all behind y'all people. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter white, black, green, blue, purple, orange, yellow. You know, over here it ain't like that.
Sporting
It ain't
icon
like
said
that.
it.
Yeah, you got people over here that want to see Deontay Wilder get knocked out by Joshua. You know, so
If
it,
Wilder fought guys fight, he'd be popular. I agree with. I think that's true as well. I think like that's with Anthony Joshua. He had a good. He was an Olympic gold medalist, and he was in England. He had that support, but he took on like interesting fights, like Dylan White, undefeated people early on, and just sort of captured the imagination of people. The radar fighting against like some of the
that's
people
true.
that
That Dylan White was a tough fight. That was a tough fight. I liked it, that fight.
yeah, it was early on, and it was like a London derby, like rivalry. Do you know what I mean? And it was a good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's go to Parker Joshua.
Yep.
Um, what's your straight to the chase? Who do you think is going to win this fight?
I got Joshua winning that fight. I like that fight. It's a tough fight. The New Zealand kid. I like Parker, man. He got heart. I ain't really touched on it too much in my video, but Parker can fight, man. He can fight. He got activity. Parker got a lot of activity. AJ got activity as well. That's why I say if Parker can get AJ down the stretch and keep, you know what I mean, some gas, because we know it's no secret like Anthony Joshua's a good fighter, but he do got stamina problems. You know, it's the same with Canelo. Like great fighters, but to me, you can't fix a stamina problem, man, unless you try to pace yourself early on, and you'll be switching up your game plan. You know, you have to try to pace yourself, and sometimes you can give rounds away trying to pace yourself. So, and then when the bell ring and you fight, sometimes you can't get away from what you do best. So it's just like I got AJ winning, but it's gonna be like to me. I want to see what weight he come in at. You know, do he come down 240 or something, or you know, and how do a stamina hold up through the early rounds? You know, I want to see do he push the pace, or will he try to sit back and box for a minute and push the pace late? And I'm looking to see how Joseph Parker push his pace because Joseph Parker can fight at a fast pace. You know, he got good body head work, and it's gonna be interesting, man. But at the end of the day, I got AJ winning. I think AJ can knock him out, you know, but I think AJ knockout streak come to an end and he win a unanimous decision fight.
Yeah, well,
What's your
Joseph
take?
Parker. I see it basically the same. I see Joshua winning. Probably, I'm going probably on points as well. I think he could stop him late, but I think Parker combination. First of all, I do believe he's very tough. Like they say he's never been knocked down even in sparring, and so I don't know anything about that, but he's certainly never been knocked down as a professional.
Right, right.
Not that I've followed his amateur career, but that's what people say. A
Okay.
kind of tough look about him. I can see him being pretty durable. He's also very quick on his feet. I don't think he's got the best footwork in terms of efficiency with that, but he's definitely move. He's more mobile than Joshua is. So I
Yeah.
think he can on the move enough for Joshua to sort of slow Joshua's pace down. Because I think Joshua's going to realise air him out, and they want to take him into the later rounds and expose his lack of stamina. So I think by doing that, Joshua's going to probably throw a bit less, and he's going to spend quite a lot of time ring off. Like trying to blast him out, saying, "Oh, he's got no chin," and I don't see that. I think that would be a very bad move from Parker. Just Joseph Parker obviously can punch to a certain extent, but not on a scale like Joshua. And Joshua puts punches
Right.
together.
Right. But
getting hit with like what?
I seen
I mean,
Parker. He can
Joshua's
put Parker can put punches together too, but not with the same power.
Joshua's a real powerhouse. Do you see the Kevin Johnson
Right.
fight? I mean, Kevin Johnson. When Kevin Johnson fought Anthony Joshua, yeah, he was well past his best. 12 round. He went 12 rounds with Vladimir Vitali Klitschko, didn't he?
Yeah, they went to it. No, no, he stopped
He
him.
went.
Hold on. You mean
He went.
Kevin Johnson?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
rounds with Vitali Klitschko. He went 12
Yeah.
rounds with Tyson Fury.
Yep.
Okay, he was older and he wasn't as good when he fought Joshua, but you could just see in his fight in the first round, he was just like,
Yeah,
oh,
but you can't take it away from Joshua though. You can't take it away from him.
what
I
I'm
get credit
saying.
where it's
Like,
due. Yeah, I
well,
get
yeah, that's
credit
what I'm
where it's
saying.
due.
So to just blow someone like Kevin Johnson like that in a round, and he's done 12 rounds with Vitali Klitschko, 12 rounds with Tyson Fury, and not just the fact that he did it, just the reaction of Kevin Johnson told me seriously like powerful. He's got fast hands.
Right.
He was shocked. He was like, he didn't want to know. He got taken out in that first round, and then like Johnson was just like, right, I see, I'm going to retire. I don't need getting in a ring with someone like that again. So I think if basically Jose Parker goes toe to toe with Anthony Joshua, he's going to realise very quickly that that's a bad place for him to be.
Yeah, that's what I said. I
I
don't think you go try to go match him toe for toe, blow for blow. I think he tried to use the footwork. I think he tried to take him
no,
to the late round. I think he like when he was fighting Vladimir Klitschko. I watched not the interview, the Joseph Parker snippet of when he was watching the fight himself, and he said he'd take him apart. He said he'd pick him apart. So he got confident. That's why I say he's seen something in Joshua that think he can take advantage of. Now, outside looking in, that's a whole different story. Once you get your ass inside the ring, you might see something that you know what I mean. You think you saw something that you can't take advantage of, but he's undefeated.
yeah,
He don't know how to lose. He feel like he can win. He going in with all the confidence in the world. He a champion. You can't take that away from him. Like I said, I'm not mad at this fight. I really like this fight because it's champion versus champion, and you do give AJ credit for fight. You
yeah.
know what I mean? He fighting champion, so he get all the credit in the world, and he do take on big fights, regardless if it's Wilder or not. You can't. That's why I say people can't get mad at this fight. Wilder got one belt. Joseph got one belt. He picked Joseph, so this is a good fight, man. It sets up for undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Like it's gonna be one hell of a fight. Just make Wilder and AJ that much bigger, and at the same time they fight in the same month, so that's even better. So you get a it's gonna be that much bigger. But I just think Parker need to pace himself. I think he need to bring AJ on, try to gas him out, get to the body, try to let him work, and try to catch him with something big in between him throwing. But at the same time, he need to make AJ work to try to gas him down the stretch to where some of the power will be going off the punches. But we seen AJ drop Vladimir even in the late round, so the power will be there. But you just gotta take some of the activity out of him, and then bring on your arsenal. Later on, but don't wait too late because you know what I mean. We know sometimes you can start too late and it can screw you. But I just feel like if he can try to make AJ work
And,
and
and
tie
also,
up and hug, you gotta have some type of strategy to what you're doing. So it's gonna be one good one, man. I like the fight.
we have to be realistic as well. I'm not saying that there's going to be any like funny business, but when you've got someone who's making as much money for everyone as Anthony
Exactly,
Joshua,
exactly.
you've got to think that he's going to. I'm hoping not, but you've got to think that he's going to be the favoured on the cards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like
Like the kind of
people say those
Canelo,
things.
well, not to that extent, but
One thing I like to talk about is crooked shit that goes on in boxing. I don't talk about steroids. I don't talk about crooked judges. I just talk about the fighters because I don't want to put the narrative out and put that out to nobody because people take it and run with it. So I hate when people do that. But we know the what I'm saying, the dirty side of it. But I just try to give people the benefit of the doubt. People like to talk about the referees. People were saying,
yeah,
"Oh, Earl Spence gonna get robbed by the referee, by the judges, all this." That ref did a hell of a job in that fight, man, with Kell Brook and Earl Spence. That was a hell of a job. You know what I mean? So I just like to wait till it happen. I mean, if it happened, we'll catch it when it happened. We know what it is, but I like to keep those things. I don't put them in my videos because I don't want to put no narrative out saying nobody is crooked, this and that, unless it happened, and then we can go back and talk about it. Because we can talk about a ref so bad, and we go look at the ref. He do a hell of a job. You know what I mean? So it's just like I won't look at that part of it, but we know what it is. Anthony Joshua, he going to the UK, he going to his homeland, like So, but I just feel like I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I just feel like it's gonna be one hell of a fight. Two championship fighters, two champions, two undefeated fighters. I pray they both get the same benefit of the doubt. So it's gonna be a good one, man. Like I say, I can't be mad at this fight. I feel like if
What's
Parker
the
go in and if he can if he can get Joshua to work early, tag the body because the body will be there. If he can get him to work early and gas him out, he'll have a good chance in the second half. But if he go in underestimate Joshua, like you say, trying to stand there and go toe for toe, blow to blow, toe for toe, blow for blow, then he might be on his ass and the fight might be over within 6 rounds.
your your final prediction for it then?
My fight prediction: I got AJ winning unanimous decision. No funny business. I just got him winning unanimous decision. But Parker will win a few rounds. I will give him that.
Definitely think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think
Yeah.
points is probably the safest bet.
Sometimes the
Hold on,
safest bet
one
could
sec. I've
be.
just got to.
You know, go ahead.
Hold on, one sec. I've just
You
got to
got some
quickly
questions,
message. I need to.
fam?
Yeah, let's have a look at the. Okay. Right. Okay. And Parker both unifying while Wilder talks BS and looking for easy route to undisputed by fighting
Who name is that? Who name
39
is that? Say
bums.
the name. Say the name.
I'm sure you disagree with that.
What name is it? Who name is it?
Sporting icons.
Sport icons. What do you say now?
Parker both unifying while Wilder talks BS and looking for easy route to undisputed by fighting 39 bums.
How could he be talking BS and looking for easy routes when he tried to go fight Povetkin? Povetkin popped dirty. Tried to fight Wilder. Wilder, I mean not Wilder. I'm sorry, Ortiz. For whatever reason, popped dirty for what he used. He was gonna fight one other guy. He popped dirty. So you can call him what you want, man. He tried to make his fights happen. It's not his fault, man. It's not like I say. He got to take the blame for what his opponents do. You know what I mean? That's why I say, man, it's crazy, man. This boxing world is crazy, man. But it is what it is.
You've got UK Fight Group. Too many people writing Parker off early. Joshua and Parker have beaten similar level, barring Klitschko. Both should be praised. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they've, apart
I
from
give
Klitschko,
I give Park all the credit in the world, man.
saying too
Parker
many
got
people writing Parker off early. I don't agree with that. I don't think people are writing him off. I think people are just
they just think AJ better.
favourite. Fuck's sake.
Talk up Andy Ruiz. Here who he can you always miss who he Huey theory. I don't know why I got it. But yeah, man, I give Parker all the credit in the world. I always give a champion a credit, man. He a champion. I mean, how can you not credit a champion? You know what I mean? So I don't know who he's talking about with
I
writing
think,
them off.
yeah, I mean, I think most people think that out of the three champions, he's probably the weakest link. I mean, that depends on who you talk to. I think generally that's what people
Oh,
think. But, we'll see, won't we, once they all fight each other. This
exactly. I
is
don't call no champion a weak link.
it's going to tell him.
He undefeated and he confident. He don't know how to lose.
All right, should we move on then to the next one?
I mean, we
Errol
could.
Spence. Have you got anything else you wanted to say?
No, it's just gonna be one hell of a fight, man. I praise both of them guys. I'm happy they got the fight done. I'm happy they was willing to fight each other. You know what I mean? Because they could have went different routes. You know what I mean? But they fighting each other for us, and I praise both of them, man. I praise both of them.
Fight group saying, okay, so a lot of Joshua following, mostly casuals, are expecting a 4-round blowout. Yeah, that's I don't expect that at all. No way, not a 4-round blowout.
No, I can't see it for it. Like
A
I
lot,
say, if I'll say this though, if Parker go out there and he use his head and he make Joshua fight and he be smart, but if he go out there and try to stand toe for toe and go blow for blow, like I say, the fight can be over within 6 rounds. And that's just the fact of it, man. It's just the fact of it. We know Parker don't hit harder than Joshua. But you could, he can. We seen Joshua go down, so you could hit him and make him go down. But at the end of the day, I don't see him, hitting harder than Joshua. So if you go out there and be smart and try to um, get the fight to being down the stretch, then I can see that happening.
Yeah, yeah. Errol Spence, Lamont Peterson.
Yeah, yeah. Coming up this
I
Saturday,
don't.
man. Coming up this Saturday, the 20th.
I think it's a good fight. I think it's probably the best available opponent for Errol Spence right now. Thurman is the one he really wants to fight. He's just coming back from injury, so he's not available.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about Keith Thurman. He running,
Sean
but the
Porter
thing is, I'm gonna say,
doesn't want to know. He doesn't.
hold on, Rod. I say this, Lamont Peterson, man, is one hell of a fighter. Um, Former champion, skillful fighter. He can move, fight off the back foot, fight going sideways, fight going backwards. A good body puncher, So the thing is, just gonna be could he take the power of Earl Spence, which I don't think he can take. They know each other, so they support each other. Um, Earl Spence is a big fan of Lamont Peterson, like a big brother to him, man. Taught him a lot. But at the end of the day, it's a business. It's one hell of a fight. Um, it's gonna be a great fight early on, a boxing match. But in the second half, it's gonna turn into a dog fight. And I got Earl Spence stopping Lamont Peterson around the ninth or the 10th round, man. But it's gonna be a good fight, man. Earl Spence gonna learn a lot from this fight. Um, Lamont Peterson ain't as strong as Kell Brook. Kell Brook is a strong fighter. So I don't see him moving Earl Spence like Kell Brook was able to move him. I feel like he can take certain angles and try to use his footwork to try to turn Earl Spence. That's what he got to do. Think in the ring. He gonna try to get to the body of Earl Spence. But like I say, once you go to the body, they always leave open for a shot. So him getting to the body is gonna be a dangerous thing to do. But Lamar Pearson is a dog, man. He a dog. He's not afraid. I'm gonna say that right now. He's not afraid of Earl Spence, even with all the hype behind Earl. You know, it's gonna be one hell of a fight, man. And I can't wait till the 20th. That's the fight I'm waiting on. Check it off, but it's gonna be an entertaining fight. But I just see Earl Spence youth, his pace and his will just being too much for Lamont Peterson. I ain't gonna say Lamont is over the edge, but Lamont is in the fourth quarter of his career, and this Earl Spence fight, man, it's gonna be a lot for him to overcome. But I do see Lamont putting up a hell of a scrap, but Earl just gonna be too much at the end, and it's gonna be a stoppage, man, around the ninth or the 10th round. What you got to say, Cheddar?
I see Errol Spence winning pretty easily. To be honest, I don't see much of a threat from Lamont Peterson. I think he's a good fighter. He's experienced. He's been in the ring with some good fighters.
Yep.
Seen him. Danny Garcia could have gone either way. He got a
Yep.
gift decision against Amir Khan, in my opinion.
I thought he
He
won
got
that fight.
knocked
I
out.
thought he won.
You thought he beat Amir Khan?
Yeah, I thought he beat Amir Khan from the body work, and they took 2 points
No,
from Amir Khan, but yeah, I thought he beat Amir Khan. That was a hell of a fight in DC. Amir Khan had balls though to go to DC and fight him anyway, but I,
definitely. That's a
I
thing.
thought, I thought, I thought he won that fight though. I thought he did.
I don't. I think Amir Khan beat him. It was a tough fight, though. I mean, he's been in with some good people. I just don't think he's like physically strong enough. I don't think he's really like Errol Spence's style. If you
Yeah,
don't have, if you don't have like,
Kell
as I
Brook
say, physics, he's
type of
very he's
bill.
physically strong, he's tough, and he's got a good punch in him. Even he wasn't really able to sustain that. No, Errol Spence just that relentless pressure.
Right,
So he's also got good footwork, Kell Brooks. I think if he wasn't able to do it, I don't really see what Lamont Peterson's going to do. I think he might be slightly like better with his bit quicker on his feet, but he's nowhere near as
right,
strong. Yeah, I mean, in terms of tough, maybe he's as tough. I don't think so personally, but he's definitely to a certain extent, and he's not someone who's going to give up or back down.
right.
Puncher. I mean, he's coming up from light welterweight as well, isn't he? His style that it's going to be very effective against
But
you're
I know exactly what you
someone
mean.
someone who doesn't really have that much power, unless you're like Floyd Mayweather. But aside from that, I think you're going to need to sort of stand your ground to a certain extent with Spence at times and make him have something to think about.
That's true too. That, but thing about Lamont, people don't understand is,
Jacobs, remember like
yeah,
Golovkin? It's a similar. When Golovkin fought Danny Jacobs, he sort of gave him something to think about, and he wasn't as dominant because he was. So
that's
I
a
think
nice
Errol
assessment. That's a
Spence,
nice assessment too. I like that.
you need to be like that. He needs to. So I'm thinking maybe like Keith Thurman. Thurman's going to beat Errol Spence, but you need to be. Uh, you've got to stop that relentless advance somehow.
Right, and that's my whole thing with Lamont Peterson. But like Lamont, he can move. Like Lamont got good defense. So, but with that being said, though, it's like you say, you gotta have something to keep Earl Spence off your ass. But Lamont, he ain't the hardest puncher, but like I tell people, you don't have to be the hardest puncher for somebody to feel your punch. You know what I mean? It's like you getting punched in the face. A baby can punch you in the face and you can feel it. You know, so a grown man punch you in the face, you go feel it. But Earl relentless and like it's the pace that he fight at, it's gonna be crazy. But I'm looking forward to how he cut the ring off on Lamont Peterson because Lamont can he got different angles he can take, and he one hell of a mover, man. Lamont is one hell of a mover. Like in a Matisse fight, Matisse caught him and put him out, but it's on the fact of Lamont tried to sit down and hook with a hooker. You know, when Lamont was moving early on, he had
Yeah.
success. You know, but once you sit there, and that's my whole thing in this fight. It's like I feel like he go have success early on because he gonna be moving and boxing. But I just feel like once the body work take toll, because both of them got good body work. But I just feel like once the body work take toll and you got to sit down, and that's when I feel like Earl Spencer success go come in, and that's when I feel like all the danger go occur to Lamont. You know what I mean? I feel like he go get him out in the later rounds.
As well, I think if we take aside like the physical advantages that Spence clearly has, I just
Uh huh.
don't think that Peterson can match him, not even close, for desire and will to win.
Exactly.
But he's naturally, I think, Lamont Peterson, a very tough man mentally. He's got a good natural fighting spirit in him, and I think in a fight that's going to carry him to a certain point. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's
Yep.
going to carry him to the point where Errol Spence is man on a mission right now.
Right. That's why I
Who's
say just
yeah. So in terms of like a battle of wills, I don't see him losing to someone who's physically with him either.
exactly. Exactly. It's just gonna be at the end of the day, it's just gonna be too much willpower, too much pace. Um,
Too
and
much of everything, really.
yeah, yeah.
Too
Earl
much
right
physical
now,
strength.
it's just that Earl is in a different. It's a different era. It's a different era, and it's just you got that young hungry lion, and everyone knows when you got that one hungry lion. There's his will, and it's just like he don't know how to take no for an answer. You know what I mean? And that's just what it's gonna be with Earl. Like he on the mission right now. He know what he want, and he going after it. And Lamont is in the way, and I feel like Earl gonna get him out the way.
Me too. The fact that you say that they're like friends and he's got a lot of respect for him, maybe you'll go a bit easy on him.
No, no,
Do you know
this
what I mean?
business, right? No, no, this business. That you can leave all that outside the ring. Once you inside that ring, it's
That's
gladiators. It's like you trying to take what's on my
that's the
plate.
only
You trying to take food out my child mouth, and you trying to take like what I'm. Lamont isn't gonna hurt Earl, so
that's
it
the
ain't. It's
only
like
hope.
yeah, it's the hurt business. They know what they in for. Like Lamont going down and try to knock his head off. Earl gonna try to knock his head off. When it's over, they can hug it out. We can go do this. But once that bell go ding ding, it's war, man. It's war.
Talk about this comment. Sporting icons people saying Thurman runs and already unified against Garcia. He fought once last year, same as Spence did. Granted, he's not talking about Spence though. People are
Hold on, sport.
very quick to forget the good stuff that you've done. Like Keith Thurman, he's getting now to do with like Spence. Now, I don't believe that he wants to fight Errol Spence either. To be honest with you,
Let me take that question. I'm gonna tell him this. One thing about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman get the credit. We do give Keith Thurman credit for being the unified champion, right? We don't take nothing away from Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman will be a hell of a fight against Earl Spence. Keith Thurman gave an ultimatum to Earl Spence. Danny Garcia gave Earl Spence an ultimatum. Sean Porter gave Earl Spence an ultimatum. He did what they asked and beyond. You know what I mean? He did what they asked. Now it's time for them to fight. Of course, Keith Thurman coming off an injury. Yes, he come back and get a tune-up fight. Nobody denied him a tune-up fight. He get that fight. But at the end of the day, after that tune-up fight, Earl Spence should have been his next fight. If he's in good enough shape to fight a Sean Porter, who's a relentless fighter, a pressure fighter, and is a elite welterweight right now, then you in good enough shape to fight a Earl Spence. Don't talk one way that your name Keith Thurman got to, oh, you're not afraid to let it go. But when it's time to fight the fighter that the fans want you to fight, you're not ready. You were so adamant about fighting Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, you talk your ass off. But when it comes to Earl Spence, he don't do that much talk. He don't do that much the arrogancy talk and all that. At the end of the day, Earl Spence been calling you out since 2014. You know what I mean? When he was 15-0. Now it's that time. Keith Thurman said he can see himself fighting Earl Spence when it was the fall of 17. Man, we in 2018 now, and he talking about 2019. Come on, man. Like once you get to talking about that, like, man, don't play with us like that, man. We know what it is for Keith Thurman. He in the driver's seat right now. He's enjoying being at the top of the mountain. He is at the top of the mountain that everybody chasing. But at the end of the day, man, you can't run forever, bro. You can fight. You can say this. You can say that. You talking all that mess on Twitter. You know what I mean? Thinking you go fight Earl Spence. People thinking you go fight him. Then when it comes time to fight, you want to change up the story. No, man, we ain't going for none of that, man. Keith Thurman, he get all the credit in
What
the
about
world for being unified, but now it's time to fight, man.
this comment? UK Fight Group. Al Heyman is calling all the shots. They will fight when he says.
That's
It's not
not
really
true.
down to. You
It's
don't think
like
that's
this.
true?
I don't think Al Heyman, yes, he their advisor, he their manager. He used other promoters to promote the car. He putting extra dollars in their pocket. But trust me, if Keith Earl Spence want to keep Thurman fight, if Keith Thurman say, Al, I'm ready for Earl Spence, he gonna make it happen. That's just like you, Chatter. If you was just say it was another guy and me, I'm Earl Spence and the other guy Keith Thurman. You are manager and advisor, right? I come Chatter. I want to fight. I want to fight him. All you can say is, listen, Montre, I can try to get you to fight with him. I can't make him fight. If the other guy come to you, hey, Chatter, I'm not ready to fight. All you can do is say, fuck, he's not ready to fight. I got to still get you a fight. I'm your manager and advisor. If you wanted to fight and I wanted to fight, the fight would be happening. I can't force him to fight you. Al Heyman can't force Keith Thurman to fight Earl Spence. He can't just say, you know what, Thurman, it's that time. It's time for you to fight Earl Spence and the fight happen. No. If Keith Thurman say I'm not ready for the fight not gonna happen. Al Heyman is the manager. He's there to do what's best for his fighters. You know what I mean? He can't force them to fight for us. If it was a promoter there saying, you know what, you go fight this fight or I'm gonna sit you on the shelf. It's not that type of party going on with Al Heyman. It's I'm your manager. I'm using these promotion companies to put the fight on, and I'm gonna keep some extra dollars in y'all pocket. You know what I mean? So that's a whole different subject. Al Heyman, yes, he calls shots because he's the manager, but if they was ready for the fight would be happening. It's not that he can just say, I'm gonna snap my fingers and make the fight happen and it happen. He's there to do what's best for his fighters. Both of them is fighters, both of them grown mans, both of them got different careers. I gotta make sure I keep their career on track. If he say he don't want the fight, all I can do is look for the next best fight for him. If Earl Spence, you want the fight, I can't make him fight, so I gotta look for the next best fight for you. That's the whole situation that's going on over there.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a pretty good comeback fight, though, for Keith Thurman, isn't it? Jesse Vargas.
Man, like listen, I even salute Keith Thurman for taking Jesse Vargas as the comeback fight. You know, he look at it as a tune-up. That's not a tune-up fight. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
I respect that fight. But like I say, if you can fight a Jesse Vargas, Chatter, if you can fight Jesse Vargas and come back and fight Sean Porter, then instead of because Sean Porter got to fight the winner Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios next. So who would you fight next, Keith Thurman? Like if you in good enough shape to fight Sean Porter, who is a you know what I mean, a fucking stamina addict, like Sean Porter gonna be there the whole 12 rounds. You ain't good enough shape to fight an Earl Spence. Like, stop playing, man. Like, it's too easy, bro. Like, come on, man. Keith Thurman, he know what he doing, man.
Sean, Sean Porter, he's someone who, now, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't really mind But because he's sort of saying to Danny Garcia that he's ducking him and all this and the other, why is he trying to Danny Garcia when he's coming off a loss, he doesn't have a belt, gone
Yeah,
over to the UK, done his dirty work for him, got the belt back that he had, that he never
exactly,
tried to get back,
exactly.
and he
Sean
doesn't
Porter,
even want to say hey,
he don't want to
Sean
say.
Porter.
Sean Porter don't want to say Earl Smith's name. Danny Garcia don't want to say Earl Smith's name. They all running from him. Sean Porter and his daddy, they talk a lot of trash. They say this is the thing with me and what I got against Sean Porter. Sean Porter and them say, "Oh, we only want the Danny Garcia fight because Danny Garcia called us out. He called our name. Earl Spence called their name out
Yeah,
multiple times, right? Then they say, oh, we when they fought Adrian Granados, the Porter say, oh well, we called everyone. No one wanted to answer the phone. So this is the next best fight we can find. Danny Garcia didn't want to fight. I promise you they didn't call Earl Spence up and ask him did he want to fight because he would have accepted. Danny Garcia, he just said now in the Brandon Rios situation. I mean, at the Brandon Rios press conference that he if he can't get the Keith Thurman fight that he'll fight Earl Spence. So we gonna wait till after the Rios fight and we gonna wait till after the Spence and the Peterson fight. Granted, both on win, and we gonna see what he fight Earl Spence. But we know the WBC just mandated the winner of Brandon Rios and Danny Garcia for Sean Porter. So we'll see what happened in that situation as well. But they all ducking Earl Spence, man. They all. It's sad that we have to see Terrence Crawford come up just for Earl Spence to get a big time fight. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Terence Crawford, really, who can potentially beat Errol Spence
Terrence Crawford can potentially
right
beat
now.
everybody at 147. The man got skills
Yeah,
out this world.
Terence Crawford will beat everyone of them except for possibly Errol. But those two are the. I definitely pick him to beat all the rest of them. Thurman, all that.
Me
Him
too.
against like some really big, strong welterweights though, because obviously Crawford, and he managed.
Yeah, Crawford walking around at 170 like he was just 170 something.
Yeah,
So that's a big. He walking
so
around
he's
heavy.
very impressive. But now you're going to see like him against people like Spence, Porter, Thurman. These are big lumps.
Exactly, but the skills pay the bills. I got Terrence Crawford pound for
Yeah,
pound number
but
one.
with the exception of Sean Porter, like Thurman and Spence both have very good skills as well. Kell
Yeah,
Brook,
but
obviously,
I'm
he's
gonna
not
ask
around.
you, they don't have the same. If I ask you who has more skills in the toolbox, who can do more, it'll be Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is a switch hitter. So, like I say, he's seen it all.
Oh,
Don't get
Terence,
me
yeah.
wrong. He going up against fighters that got the same speed, probably got more power. But like I say, Terrence Crawford can take away what you do best. And like I say, when I seen people do different things, like win by certain different ways, regardless of who, people want to say who he fighting or not, it's just like I seen them knock people out to the body, seen them beat people with the jab, seen them out hook a hooker, seen them out jab a jabber. You know, so it's like the kid is just special, man. I like him, and I'm gonna give him all the credit in the world because he deserves it.
Let's move on to talk about another big fight coming up that I'm really looking forward to. George Groves and Chris Eubank Jr.
Man, I'm loving that fight, man. I feel like George Grove is gonna test Eubanks Jr. more than what people wanna say he will. You know what I mean? George Grove is a relentless fighter. You know what I mean? He relentless. You gotta really stop George Grove to stop George Grove. You know what I mean? Like you gotta really put him down and hit him with something to make him stop because he's not gonna stop. So we know you.
Interesting. The other day, I watched an interview with Dylan White, and they
Uh
were
huh.
asking him, who he picked for this fight, and he was saying, "Oh, he likes both of them." And then he said something interesting. He said, "I used to go to Adam Booth's gym,
Uh huh.
David Hay, and I used to because like George Groves used to be with Adam Booth and David Hay, and that." He said, "I used to spar with like David Hay and George Groves. I used to spar him as well. Very,
Used
very
to
game."
used to spar Dylan White.
Dylan
Wow.
White, he used to spar George Groves, and he's saying George Groves was very game.
That's what I mean, man. Like you have to really stop
So
George Grove. Like if you think you're just gonna go in there and have a easy time with George Grove, you got another thing coming. Hey Raj, need to get my charger. But yeah, it's like George Grove, man. He a hell of a fighter. I do got Chris Eubanks winning now. Don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Try to get my charger from Raj. Roger got it. But yeah, it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be one good fight.
I think most people are expecting Chris Eubank to win based on work rate. I think
You
that
say
George Groves has got stamina issues.
you pick Chris Eubanks to win on work rate?
Well, again, I'm sort of sitting on the fence again, a bit like Wilder Ortiz. I'm
Yeah,
sort of, because I think it depends who can implement their game plan. But like the overall consensus with Chris Eubank is that his work rate and Groves' sort of lack of stamina over 12 rounds is going to be the key.
I can
Now,
see that. I
that's
can
one
see
way it
that.
could go. Groves is a harder puncher. He's a better
He's
boxer.
he's the bigger man at 168 too. Like he's the more. I mean, like that's really his weight class.
And if you look at his career, he beat the first fight, he was beating Carl Froch. Okay, the second fight, he got caught with a big punch. That can happen.
Got caught with a big punch. Exactly.
First fight, he was beating Carl Froch. He beat James DeGale early on,
Beat James
and he
Gale.
had a very,
Took
and he had a very, very close fight with Badu Jack, who, to be honest,
Badu
for
Jack.
me, Badu
Exactly.
Jack's one of the best fighters in the world, in my opinion.
One of the best fighters in
I
the
mean, I
world,
don't,
in my opinion, as well. And George Grove fought him
I
tooth
don't
and nail.
like pound for pound thing, but if I did, Badu Jack would be probably in my top five, just in terms of pure everything. He had a very close fight with him.
Exactly.
James DeGale fought against Badu Jack and got absolutely battered by him.
And got battered. Face bruised. So
Yeah, he
when
got absolutely smashed up. Like, I don't think he'd never be the same again. He got
exactly.
they gave it a draw, but that was never a draw. Badu Jack clearly won that fight. But George
Yeah,
Groves
Badu
did
clearly
much
won that fight.
better. But James DeGale did better. He didn't at all. He's a
Bro,
very formidable opponent. Chris Eubank, I don't know. He's someone who, although he hasn't really tested, he does have something about him that you just think maybe he is special. His attitude and his is phenomenal. You know what I mean? You literally see him. He's in a fight, and then the day after, or literally about 10 minutes later, he's in the gym doing one-handed press ups. You know what I mean? He's just got
yeah,
a relentless,
yeah, I like him.
constant work where he's always there, lives the life. Psychologically, I think he's very, very focused. His dad
He
obviously
dedicated
guiding
himself.
him. He's almost like, I heard someone once make the comparison. It's almost like he's been bred, like you have a almost, and you train it. I think he's just been sort of to think a certain way with regards to boxing. And I don't know, he's just got something about him that makes you have confidence in him. In terms of pure boxing ability, he's quite a bit better. And then when you consider the fact that often flies in, you know what I mean? He was lunging off balance, and he gets very cocky. He does have quite a good defense, good head movement. He's very agile. He comes in sometimes, I literally leap in with an uppercut. I do very unconventional stuff. To one of George Groves' straight right hands, then
Yeah,
a great chin and all this, but we haven't really seen him take punches like that. Martin Murray
right.
said that Golovkin doesn't hit as hard as Groves.
Martin Mary said that.
It's harder than Golovkin.
Those
But
are Martin
actually,
Mary
put on his
words.
ass. Huh?
I said those are Martin
Yeah,
Mary
Martin Murray
words.
said that. Yeah, Martin Murray said that George Groves hits harder than Golovkin.
Okay, Golovkin just got that snap, huh?
Well, Golovkin's just more relentless, I think, and he's just on you the whole time, isn't it? A bit like Errol Spence.
Right, with the pace. It'd be the pace
Like
for us. Yeah.
it just wears you down physically, mentally. Like, explosive, hard puncher, but he's not constantly on you, just punching you There's just no respite against someone like Golovkin. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Could you hear
So
me? Could you
I
hear me?
think,
Okay, Cheddar.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I had to. put my charger in, so I took my headphones out.
I could see it going one or two ways. The Groves Eubank, but it's something that I've wanted to see for quite a long time. The best fights to be made in British boxing, like the clash of styles. Both of them are quite cocky. Both of them are, you know what I mean. Both of them have got a very bulldog spirit. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt,
Neither
no
of them
doubt.
back down, and they both got a real tenacity about them. It's a very good fight to be made.
Yeah, that would make it a good fight though. So who you pick to win?
Yeah. Uh, Again, I'm kind of
You're on the fence with everybody, man.
yeah. Well, that's why it's so good, isn't it? That's why if you can't really instantly pick one, if I had to
You got to pick.
now,
Somebody got to lose.
I'm going to go for Groves.
You go for
I can
Groves.
just see him outboxing him.
I,
Groves can, if Groves can use, if he's still got good legs on him, because he can't stand toe to toe with him.
yeah, you can't go power for power. I say this though. Grove's biggest fight was Billy Joe Saunders, right? Would you agree? And he lost. I'm sorry, not Grove. Chris Eubanks. Chris Eubanks' biggest
Yeah,
fight was Billy Joe, right?
yeah,
And after Billy Joe, you can really say that the level hasn't been, you know what I mean? His level of competition hasn't been that high. You know what I mean? He got Arthur Abraham, but we know Arthur Abraham he was a decline, but at the end of the day, it was still Arthur Abraham. I mean, he did good work with him. You know what I mean, um, Avni Yildirim, I always get his last name wrong, but he was a strong fighter, a Turkish. You know, he was strong, but he didn't really have no skill set on him. You know, he looked like he was something like Gene Pascal to me, like a street fighter. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
he did what he had to do with him. I just feel like George Grove is this will be his like this is a real test for him. Like when you say somebody on that level, you know what I mean, on that level. So it's gonna be like, do he rise to the occasion? You know, do he rise to the occasion? Because I look at like I say, George Grove ain't an easy fight for nobody, man, nobody. But I do pick my man to win this fight. I pick Eubanks Jr. to win this fight. I feel like right now, I feel like he have learned from the Billy Joe Saunders fight. But I feel like he got to go in there and he got to try to take George Grove's will. You have to try to go in there and take his will. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, George Grove gonna be on your ass all night. Like he's not gonna stop. So you got to go in there. You got to try to get to the body. You got to try to force his will on George Grove and let him know that um, I ain't taking no for an answer. Because if not, man, George Grove, man, like I say, the Grovester, and I like George Grove, a big fan of him, man, a big fucking fan. I just feel like the youth and the power, and George Grove been hit by some big punches, but the youth and the power of Chris Eubanks could take toll on him later on down the line. And that's what I'm banking on. You know what I mean? I'm banking on that. So if he can go in there and enforce his will, but hold on, let me say this. I say
Yeah,
this: if he go in there and try to just shoot it out, it might be a problem. But if he go in there, like I say, forcing your will on somebody, just pushing the pace, trying to push him backwards, get to the body, and it's just like you landed the bigger shots that making people go ooh and ah. And when he hits you, you take it and you coming back and you shooting it back. So if he can go in there and do that, I pick Eubanks to win this fight. But go ahead.
when it comes to the sort of the clash of wills in this, it's fair to say that Eubank potentially is going to have more desire because he's obviously
Yeah,
on the come up. He got outboxed in a close fight, but he hasn't been like knocked out like George Groves, and he hasn't had to sort of dust himself down around a long time.
facts.
Potentially, if push really comes to shove, maybe that he'll be more. His will can be broken a bit more at this stage than Eubanks. I don't know, but
It's gonna be a tough
possibility.
task.
I don't think it will. I don't. To be honest with you, I think like because of there's something special about domestic fights, at least here in Britain.
Right, right.
Middleweight, super middleweight, obviously heavyweights as well, but like the average size of a person, middleweight, at the division that's always liveliest is where like the best competition is. And I can't see any British fighter really, like, well, not anyone of this kind of caliber like these two down in this fight. And with the atmosphere, with the build up, and the kind of the way we are, nutrition. If it goes to, like, George Groves needs to fight a clever fight, but if it does get in the trenches, then it's going to be a very, very entertaining one.
I get what you're saying.
Edge anyone. I mean, you could say Eubank for the reason I've just said, in terms of being fresher and not maybe having more ambition at this stage in terms of his general career. Moment made a difference. So I'm going for George Groves in a close decision, and like really holding on, and like Eubank winning the last part of the fight. Similar, but in some way similar to the Billy Joe Saunders. Now, George Groves obviously isn't as slick as Billy Joe Saunders, stronger and a lot harder puncher. So he can possibly deter Eubank a lot more at the start of the fight.
I'm gonna go for Eubanks in a decision, but I got Eubanks maybe put George Grove, like dropping him in a fight. I can see him dropping George Grove, but I got Eubanks by decision.
I wouldn't be surprised if Eubank stopped him late, just kind of wore him down.
That's what I mean too. Like the body work and just pure power. Not saying he haven't been hit by hard punches, but just pure power, just constantly agony, power, real power. Like you can tell that Chris Eubanks hit with different type of power in the way he places punch. You know what I mean? So I just got pure power of Chris Eubanks, and I just got the will of the kid getting his hand raised at the end of the night.
But I think Groves is a harder puncher than Eubank.
Could be a possibility.
Eubank's obviously, he's got good combinations though, hasn't he? So that's all. But in terms of like a one punch, like Groves he is very hard.
Yeah, the thing about Eubanks too, so he can get kind of wild. You know what I mean? Like he can get kind of wild and get kind of not too fundamental. Like he'll just get the throwing sometimes. Like when I see him with in certain fights, and you don't want to get hit with something that you can't see by George Grove. And I say the same about George Grove. He can get a little wild himself, so he don't want to get hit by something he can't see by Chris Eubanks. So it's a great matchup.
One thing, I don't think that Groves is as tough as Eubank. But I don't think his chin's as good. I don't think he's physically as tough or as resilient as Eubank is. So I think that's potentially going to be quite a big disadvantage for him in this fight.
Okay, I can see that too.
Like Groves being a harder puncher, but I can see him being able to dish out like a lot of punishment, but not being able to take as much.
I see what you're saying. I just feel like I seen George Grove take some punishment. I think he can take it. I just feel like if he get hit with something he don't see, but I do see him lasting in this fight though. I do see a 12 round. I got Eubanks, and I'm gonna go line. I'm gonna say split decision. Split decision.
Could well be.
Yeah, Eubanks split decision.
It's another one that I'm 100% confident in my pick, but I'm going for. I've got to pick one. So right now, I'm gonna. Hold on, just missed the last 20 minutes. Where are we up to? Okay. Yeah, sporting icons. We're talking about George Groves against Chris Eubank. Fight everybody's looking forward to. I'm not exactly sure when the date is, or I think it's actually, which is strange because both of them are from the south. Eubank's from Brighton, Groves from London. Most people are assuming that this is going to be the favourite against either Callum Smith or Eubank could be fight of the year. Yeah, I think there's a good chance it will be fight of the year. Definitely got the potential. Said the fight, I've been in the UK for a long time. looking forward to the press conferences as well. You got some good characters in there. Obviously, you got like Chris Eubank Senior. He's good. Like George Groves, quite funny. Junior, and to be honest, Shane McGuigan. I can see him getting involved as well. So the press conference is going to be quite entertaining.
Eubank Senior, man, I tell you, my son, and I know Junior. So if you sit and you think, I know Groves, he's a good fighter, but I will say this: he hasn't been hit by this man right here. I understand what I'm looking
Not a
at.
bad impression.
Yeah.
Monocle.
Oh man, it's so funny. I know. It's just funny though. I like him though. I like him. I say, listen though. I
Yeah,
say this. I say this. I say Eubank Senior and Eubanks Junior. I call them the Sean Porter and the Kenny Porter. The UK Kenny and Sean Porter. And Sean Porter and his pops is the American Chris Eubanks Senior and Eubanks Junior.
I suppose more humble, isn't he? And a lot nicer. Not nicer, but Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's probably all right. He doesn't. He comes across not particularly likable.
Yeah, no, I just like the father and son matchup. I just like that. It's just yeah.
Well, like Huey Fury and Peter Fury.
And Peter Ferry, yeah.
Huey Fury's he's doesn't really say much.
You know who
But
do
yeah,
say
okay.
a
Let's
lot
one
though?
lot.
The Gypsy King.
What,
I like a lot the
what,
Gypsy King.
yeah. Last thing there before we finish, let's talk about Amir Khan signing with Matchroom.
Um,
Oh,
I
what's
think
your
that's a good.
reaction to this?
I think it's a good move by Amir Khan because I think Amir Khan is at the last. He's in the last stage of his career as well. I look at it like this: that 3 fight deal is a great deal with Matchroom. Um, I feel like the last fight should be Kell Brook, to be honest. But looking forward to the first fight. They looking at Adrian Broner. Um, that could be a good
Fight.
fight. Like I said, it depends on who he fight going into the last fight. Like these last 3 fights could be Amir Khan last 3 fights. But I know I seen Kell Brooks saying something about this his last year. He might retire after 18. So why not give the fight that everyone wants to see in the UK, in America, even the American people want to see Kell Brook and Amir Khan fight. Like they even know that's a big fight. You know what I mean? So it's um, Amir Khan, man, I like Amir Khan. Amir Khan never been a boring fight. You got a lot of people that hate Amir Khan for him being who he is. You know what I mean? You can't hate the position certain people in. You can't hate the fan base of some people. You can't hate how some people career go. Even boxers, like I was saying earlier, you got some boxers that hate Amir Khan because of the position he in. You know what I mean? Amir Khan fought his way to that position. Nothing was given to him. You know, he had some tough fights. So it's like, and he been knocked out, so he paid his dues in boxing. But people like to say Amir Khan, oh, he's gonna get knocked. He's only been knocked out. He's been knocked out twice, cold. You know what I mean? But he been dropped by Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? And Danny Garcia, it was a TKO win. So Amir Khan, he was stopped on his feet. You know, so did Marcos Madonna put Amir Khan down, or did he just no? He
No,
just hurt him.
Amir Khan put Madonna down.
Yeah, but Madonna just hurt him. So like, besides that, Lamont Peterson gave him a hell of a fight. He didn't drop him. Points got taken. So it's like, yeah, he been dropped, but so has other fighters. But it ain't like Amir Khan, like he don't put you in a. I mean, he's not in a good fight. Amir Khan always fight good fighters. So a lot of people go hate him, man. I give Amir Khan all the credit in the world. I'm a fan of Amir Khan. But that matchroom deal, I never seen it coming. I'll say that. I never thought it'd sign with Eddie Hearn. But I do understand it. You know what I mean? I understand it. Then he got Sky Sports behind him again on a TV deal. So it was a smart move by him, man. Coming through all the things he was just coming through with the wife, being knocked out by Canelo. Let me go ahead and let this promoter get me through. You know what I mean? Like, but if you take Adrian Brown on his first fight back, it just show you the balls of Amir Khan, man. Like, it just show you the type of fighter the dude is. So if he fight Adrian Brown, he can come back. He can get a Keith Thurman fight because Amir Khan do have a fan base. Like I say, he got the Muslim community behind him. I remember you said some things, but he still got the UK and he got America. You know what I mean? So even right now, Amir Khan can get a
That's
big fight, and they can probably want to say take it to the buy. Like he has big people behind him with money. So I respect Amir Khan. I like the move he made. It was a great chess move. It was a power move. I feel like he should fight Kell Brook on the last fight. But the fight that I think that realistically that might happen in his first fight is Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? So big ups to Amir Khan, man. I'm a fan of him, and let's see what happened, man. When the 3 fight deal with Scott, I mean with Matchroom, you know, the TV deal with Sky Sports.
With Amir Khan, that people focus quite a lot on, like you say, that the chin and proportion. Not necessarily in the sense that it's not true to a certain extent, but just how much emphasis is placed on it. He has
Exactly.
done. He went to the
Right.
Olympic Games when he was 16 years old. Fought
Yeah, you look
against
at his
good,
resume. They'll take all his wins away from him and bring all
yeah,
the bad shit. Like
beat
he
good
went up to
people.
fight Canelo. I mean, he fought Canelo. Like, come on now, man. So
Could have
it
picked
is
me,
what it
but he
is.
beat Judah, he beat Paulie Malignaggi,
Big
Kotelnik. I mean,
Judah,
some
Paulie
good
McNally, Kotelnik, Alexander. You
Tim
know what I mean?
Bradley, Tim
Tim.
Bradley, yeah, Alex Collazo. I mean, loads of people. He didn't fight
Yeah.
Tim Bradley. Was like welterweight. There's one
Chris
point when he
Algieri.
was.
Like, hey, try to get the Manny Pacquiao fight. Try to get the Floyd Mayweather fight. You know what I mean, I believe that he deserved. In my eyes, he deserved a Floyd. Even though Floyd didn't give it to him, I feel like instead of the second Madonna fight, I feel like it should have been Amir Khan. But like Amir Khan, man, he a name, man. He a name. Once you say his name,
I'm
um,
not sure. I'm not sure how if he's like he used to be in terms of the speed and all. I think he'd beat Adrian Broner quite easily, like stylistically. And he's far too busy for Broner. But I mean, don't get
that's
me wrong, that's still a good fight.
yeah, it's a hell of a fight, man. I say this: if Adrian Broner not taking Amir Khan seriously, he will lose. But if Adrian Broner, if he go in, one thing about Adrian Broner, man, don't let his hands go. That's what pissed me off a lot, though. But if he go in and his
That's
hands go, that's a shot. I look at that fight as a 50-50 fight. I won't pick nobody until I see I see what Adrian Broner is doing. When I see his, oh, go ahead.
I think that Amir Khan would dominate and win at least 9 rounds against Broner if he was at his best.
Yeah, but we know both of them got bumps and bruises. So, and then Amir Khan
So I'm
been
saying, so
out.
you don't really know.
Yeah, then he been out.
But
So
that would still be a fight for him to
yeah,
come back. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, yeah, you'd think the point of that at the end of it is the Kell Brook fight, but obviously we don't know 54. I'm not sure when that is. We're going to see how he holds out, his eyes hold out. I'd
yeah.
like to get that made soon.
Kell Brook got a fight set up, so we'll see what he look like.
It's already. I mean, it's nowhere. It used to be like a big. It could have had that at Old Trafford, like a big football stadium in the north, near where they're both from. Not sure if they could do that right away. I mean, with the right promotion, it could still be a big fight. It's nowhere near as big as it would have been.
Well, I say this. That's why I say it should be the last fight because you got to think about it. If Amir
But
Khan go, look, just think about this one. If Amir Khan beat Adrian Broner, right? That's gonna be a big fucking. That's gonna be big. That's big. That's a big time win. So if Kell Brook come back and beat the guy he fighting at 154, then just say you give Kell Brook another fight with somebody with a name, and Kell Brook beat that fighter, and then Amir Khan get a second fight. The third fight is just gonna be just as big as it could have been. Like when people was talking about it, still a be a big fight as long as they coming off for good wins, and it still show that they power and they skill there. It's still be a big fight because everybody want to see it. And trust and believe, once the fight get made and you start promoting, oh man, it ain't gonna do nothing but make it that much more bigger.
he's risky though to see, especially Amir Khan. I think after that last knockout and the inactivity that he's had, I mean, his main attribute was just how quick he was.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean
No,
his speed. I feel like his speed will always be there, but Amir Khan, he got a little pop in him too. Amir Khan got a nice pop. He got good punch placement. You know, but my thing is coming off the little layoff and coming to fight Adrian Broner, who's been active. You know, I feel like I give Adrian Broner the edge in that fight. It's just like it depends on what Adrian. I ain't gonna say what Adrian Broner show up like. Adrian Broner gonna be showing up, but it depends
okay,
on if
Sport and Icon saying it's confirmed it's not going to be Broner first. He'll
it's
be
not gonna be
second
Broner
with
first.
He
that's a
said it's
smart move.
confirmed that
That's a
it's
smart
not.
move by Amir
Yeah,
Khan. Because I was saying coming back, even though Adrian Bronner lost to Mikey Garcia, he was still in good shape, and it ain't like he lost badly. So um, just coming off a 2 year layoff, almost like that's a long time for being out the ring. You need to get your feet back under you. So like that's why I say Adrian Bronner would have had the edge because Amir Khan coming straight back. You got to get the ring rust off. No
yeah,
matter what nobody say,
yeah.
ring rust is real. So
He'll
we'll
probably
see.
fight someone in the UK in front of a decent crowd who's not particularly good, like not that dangerous, definitely not someone who can punch. I think that would be the ideal opponent for him, get him back into it, and then maybe, yeah, Adrian Broner second, Kell Brook third. And that would be the end, really, wouldn't it?
Right, right.
I think for Kell Brook as well. I mean, I'd like to see him go and achieve like good things, but those two injuries, I don't know. He's kind of pushing his luck, and he.
Yep.
So yeah,
But I like the move by Amir Khan. We'll just have to see and just watch and see how it play out. 2018 don't fire you for boxing though. We can say that.
yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good year. Okay, Mr. Boxing today, how's it going, mate? Good to have you on. He's saying Khan has great offensive skill set, shaky whiskers. Yeah, he still have the same offensive skill set that he did have. He's saying Broner talented, but never seems fully focused and a tad overrated, in my opinion. Broner was Broner was a very good lightweight, wasn't he? Like when he
Oh
was
yeah, a
fighting
hell of a
against,
lightweight. When he was
he was
the
the
smaller
man there.
weight
He was very,
classes,
very dominant.
the smaller weight
But
class, he
once
was
he
a
started,
monster.
yeah,
I,
I mean, he was
I feel
compared
like
to
after the
Mayweather.
Madonna fight, man, after the Madonna fight, he just got gunshot or something. Like it took something out of him.
Yeah, that was
Like
cockiness and the arrogance. He sort of wanted to be Floyd Mayweather without like putting all the work in.
I used to hate that shit. Like when a
He
dude come
seems,
out like Floyd say something one week, he come back and say it the next week. It's to irk me, man. But it can take away his skill set. I just thought he got caught up in that moment of thinking he was Mayweather instead of just being who he was, man. And I think that would play a big part in the Madonna fight, the arrogance he
yeah,
had.
yeah, oh, definitely. I
So
think he at that stage that just because Mayweather could do something that he could as well, and
exactly,
he was
exactly with two different skill set, right?
yeah, and like he thought he was good. Like Madonna was a big, rough, tough welterweight. Do you know what I mean? Who been in with very big puncher, and obviously
Exactly.
he'd never fought anyone like that. He was used to fighting like small. I remember Marco, Antonio DeMarco. So they're good fighters, but they're not Maidana in terms of size and sheer brute force.
When he
It
fought
was
Paulie
just too much there.
Malignaggi and he couldn't put Paulie down, he hurt Paulie. I knew it was gonna be a problem with Madonna, man.
Okay, Sporting Khan is rumoured to be fighting some Italian guy with a 28-3 record. Yeah, that sounds like a sensible opponent, like respectable-ish, but not
Yeah,
like dangerous.
right,
Okay,
right.
Mr. Boxing, I thought he was overrated after the Ponce de Leon fight. What's that fight, don't they?
Possibly the young fight put him on. He was a young kid, came back fighting a tough guy like DeLeon, and he showed his skill set. You can't take that away from him. He fought his way to where he at. It's just that his arrogance caught up with him, man. He got too arrogant.
Yeah, but I do like the Broner Khan. I've always liked that, but I think if Khan's on his game, I think he just outwork him quite comfortably.
Yeah, that's
The the potential to be quite entertaining.
yeah. I mean the set. I mean the promotion gonna be one hell of a promotion, but I'm an edge Brunner in that fight.
Thing is, I don't know who I think it's Paulie Malignaggi. He said when you're fighting Amir Khan, it's almost impossible to win rounds against him. Beat
Say
him
that again.
up. Like Paulie Malignaggi said, it's almost impossible to win rounds against because he's so quick and he comes in and he'll throw like about 3 or 4 punches at a time.
Yeah, the thing about
Outwork
Amir
him,
Khan
it's
is
almost
early
impossible. The only way to really beat him,
early on with Amir
the
Khan,
only way to really beat him,
you're gonna have a problem with the speed. But once you start timing the speed and going to the body, that's where you gotta focus at. You gotta focus on the body and timing the speed. So you can win rounds against Amir Khan.
He can, but like not. I don't think Adrian Broner can because I mean, he throws about sort of 5 punches a fight, like half the time. Do you know what I mean?
That's true as well. So
He'll probably throw as many punches in a fight as Amir Khan throws in 1 round. So I think that
you
to
got to
beat
figure it
Amir
out.
Khan, you've
But
got to physically either knock him out or do what Peterson did. And I think that he beat Peterson, but still that tactic of just sort of him
try to come
pushing
and
him around.
try to force your will on him and push him back.
Yeah, Chris Algieri actually did that. I mean, Chris Algieri. I mean,
But Chris Algieri, he a long, taller fighter though.
rough up,
He got range. So, but Chris Algieri
sort of roughed
he
up.
fought his ass off.
See Broner being able to do it. I don't think he doesn't have the work rate. He's not
But
physically like big, strong enough to like knock out Amir
another
Khan.
thing with Amir Khan, I don't think I think Broner will let his hands go against Amir Khan on the strength of the pop ain't there with like the one knockout power. You know what I mean? So when you fighting
Yeah.
fighters with one punch knockout power, I think he get a little gunshot. You know, so I think against Amir Khan. But the one thing I do like against Amir Khan though, you can't sleep on the power because he got some nice pop. But I just feel like Broner probably try to get in the inside, but you gotta cut the ring off on him, and you must work the body on Amir Khan, man. If you don't work the body on him, he go jump in and out on your ass all night.
Okay, Sporting Icon saying Kel fighting Rabchenko next, then Charlo for WBC title. Uh, that's a lot. But
I don't know if he get the Cholo. I don't know if Khan get the Cholo. I mean, I don't know if Brooke get the Cholo fight
Kel
next.
definitely not next.
Yeah, I don't know if he get the
No,
Cholo
he's on
fight.
the Rabchenko. Like he's saying like Jamel Charlo. That will make him that's a tough one. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think he get the Jamel Cholo fight after this fight. I don't think that's gonna happen. Because I know Jamel.
advise it to be honest. I mean, I don't know if that's the route they're going down. He doesn't, but to me, Jamel Charlo right now is
On fire.
yeah.
Yeah, Jamel Cholo on fire right
He's
now. I don't
okay.
think
Rabchenko, he's half decent. Apparently, Rabchenko. I don't know him, but apparently he's okay. I think he needs to get after that like another. But I don't think he should be fighting Charlo after that.
yeah,
On in
I don't
December.
think that's gonna happen.
If
I
he's
don't
got
think that's gonna happen.
if he's got a Khan, I wouldn't fight with Charlo. Would be the Charlo might be up for it though.
Of course, after fighting, I mean, his stablemate, Earl Spence, then you go fight another killer like Jamel Charlo. It'll be one hell of a fight. I mean, you have to give Kell Brook all the credit in the world, but man, it's gonna be tough, brother. It's gonna be super tough.
I do like the Charlos. I think they're like kind of my favourite fighters in America right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that okay. Just before we go, then last little thing. Just if it does happen, the Kelbert Amir Khan, if it happens soonish.
who I got in that fight if it happened. I went on
Yeah.
record. I went on record picking Amir Khan to win that fight. I will pick Amir. It depends on what weight it happened at. If it happened at
Let's
140,
say it happens at welterweight.
if it happened at welterweight, I'm gonna go with Amir Khan.
Why?
I feel like I want to see how Kell Brook eyes hold up. I feel like don't get me wrong, if Brook can get like it's always see that's the what Amir Khan is always like if you get caught with that punch. Like cause you know his substance to it. Like I ain't saying like it's gonna be a tough fight, man. But I just feel like Amir Khan, like you say, his speed, but Kell Brook do got good damn timing, man, and a good jab. I don't know. I'm gonna have to hold back on my prediction on that one, but I went on record picking Amir Khan because of the odds. I feel like Amir Khan, he know how to place the punch, right? So, and I just feel like with two eye socket, like two broken eye sockets, you'll get punched in the eye somewhere down the line. And I really picked him on injuring Kell Brook. I ain't really pick him on like physically beating Kell Brook. I picked him like I feel like he probably can injure one of the eyes. But At the same time, if Kell Brook can catch Amir Khan ass, he can put him out. But it's gonna be one hell of a fight, man. It's gonna be one. I don't know. I think my pick might change. I don't know, but right now I
I
got Amir Khan. I'm gonna go with Amir Khan.
over it all day long. The only thing is, like you say, the eyes.
Yeah, it's just
Hold up.
like those are serious injuries. Like not just one. You got both. Like not just one, both eyes. Like the same injury. And it's like with Kell Brook, like even though he had took a knee and he fought to the 11th round, it's still like you said in his head he remembered what the doctor said. So the thing is, if you can go blind
Yeah,
in one eye, just think about going blind in two eyes. Like, you know what I mean? Like if he catch you, it's like would you be gunshot or something? You know what I mean? So it's gonna be crazy.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, he might be inclined to just say, okay, that's enough. I don't want to risk going a few
Yeah,
more
he don't want
rounds.
to risk it, or don't come out and be the same Kell Brook. Like certain shots that he'll throw, he might not throw just because he want to be cautious on not getting hit with a counter shot or something. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
it's all gonna play a part. It all gonna play a part, especially
yeah.
once you get into the fight and you
All
get
right, mate.
punched by somebody with speed.
Yeah. All right, mate. Shall we leave it there then for tonight?
Yeah, we can leave it there, man. That was a good one. I feel like that was a good show.
Yeah, we got some good. We got through quite a few things on there.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to do.
So
We'll do it again in a couple of weeks' time.
yeah, whenever you got time, man, just hit me up. You know, we can make it happen. We can sign out. I
Yeah,
just want
yeah.
to say shouts out to the UK, man. You know, I got much respect and love for the UK. You know, follow my channel, man, Monty Brown TV. You know, it's all love. Appreciate you, Cheddar.
All right, cheers, mate. Speak to you soon.
All right, take care.
Take it easy, mate.